And thank you for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, an electrical fire forced the Abraham Lincoln Elementary School to cancel classes today. That according to the Bangor School Department. According to Principal Shannon Shaw, the fire was small and was quickly contained, but for the safety and well-being of students and staff, classes were canceled. Families who were affected are asked to keep an eye on emails and other official Bangor School Department channels for further updates. A thorough inspection and necessary repairs are underway to ensure the school is safe for everyone to return. In other news, a Lewiston man faces up to 5 years in prison or more for sending racist death threats to a black family living in his apartment complex. 46-year-old Charles Allen Barnes pleaded guilty today to 1 count of threatening communications and interstate commerce. According to the Department of Justice, in August of 2022, Barnes used Facebook Messenger to record and transmit a racial slur-laden voice message in which he threatened to kill his neighbor in graphic detail. That message was sent by Barnes to someone he knew to be close friends with the neighbor. That person then forwarded the recording to the neighbor to warn them of potential danger from Barnes. A sentencing hearing will be scheduled at a later date. The DOJ says if the judge determines that Barnes intentionally selected the victim of his crime due to the victim's race, a sentencing enhancement will be applied. Bangor police say 2 people are facing charges after 2 domestic violence assaults over the weekend. Bangor police were called to a local motel at around 1:00 p.m. Saturday after getting a report about an alleged assault. Bangor Police Sergeant Jason McCambly says officers discovered the suspect, 44-year-old Roderick Martin of Mineola, Texas, was wanted in Texas on a warrant for a domestic violence incident. They later found Martin in Ellsworth. He was arrested for domestic violence aggravated assault. Police also arrested 24-year-old Richard Lee of Bangor. At around 2 p.m. on Sunday, officers were called to Union Street for a report of a man allegedly assaulting a woman. McCambly says when the officers first arrived, Lee attempted to flee. He was put in handcuffs with the assistance of a second officer, but McCambly says he tried to run again when they tried to put him in his cruiser. Officers discovered he was wanted on 4 outstanding warrants for failure to appear on previous criminal charges. After searching for a more appropriate method to respond to non-emergency calls, the Bangor Police Department developed the Bangor Community Action Team. The program has been operational since last fall, and the police department says it's already making a difference. Our Grace Blanchard sat down with the team to learn more.
In 2023, the Bangor Police Department received more than 36,000 calls, nearly 1/3 of which did not require sending an officer. The department decided to create a new response model that they say has been a game changer.
No 2 days are the same.
Absolutely not.
Meet the Bangor Community Action Team, also known as BCAT, a community-oriented division of the police department that responds to all non-police affiliated calls.
There are days that we make our own calls, essentially. We'll call things in ourselves.
We're always looking.
Help to solve the problem before
very
it
proactive.
escalates, yeah.
According to the police chief, their goal was to provide a more appropriate response for wellness checks while reducing unnecessary police officer involvement.
Police officers aren't social workers. They're not trained to be social workers. So a lot of what these people needed were just connections with resources.
The team says many of the people they provide assistance to are experiencing homelessness, battling substance abuse, or mental illness. But they say their services go out to anyone in the community.
Before BCAT, people didn't necessarily know where to go to get resources. They didn't know where that person was that knew all of the resources, but now that BCAT is a thing, we have connections.
They say their work is already making an impact on the police department and the community.
We're making an impact, large and small, keeping somebody alive another day, helping somebody get a resource that they need, and that's more than enough for us.
To learn more, visit foxbangor.com. In Bangor, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Northern Light Health is the newest member of a national climate leadership group. Northern Light's Chief Environmental Sustainability Officer Tim Doak says healthcare produces about 4.5% of all global greenhouse gas emissions. In the U.S., that figure is actually closer to 8.5%. The Healthcare Climate Council is working to change that.
Certainly very humbled to be asked to join this group, but it's really been in recognition to a lot of things that we've done in the last 24 months to move the needle in the right direction in terms of the total greenhouse gas emissions that we're producing as a hospital system.
Doak says hospitals are very large facilities that consume huge amounts of energy. He says even the gases they use in surgeries aren't great for the environment, but Northern Light Health says they're working hard to make changes. He says being part of the Healthcare Climate Council will allow them to share lessons learned with other hospital systems across the nation. Last month, Governor Janet Mills unveiled Sears Island as her choice to develop an offshore wind facility. Now opponents of that project are accusing her of using legislation to sidestep environmental protections. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard explains.
Interesting, of course, is that the dunes are already protected under state law, and so it feels a bit contradictory for the state to then come in and say all of a sudden they're not protected.
One of the issues being raised with Sears Island's selection as an offshore wind port is the protected sand dunes that opponents say provide critical habitat for animals and plants along the coast. A public hearing was held in the Environment and Natural Resources Committee for a bill that would allow the governor to move forward with the project as long as all other applicable permitting and licensing criteria are met.
There's been a lot of rigor going into planning this project, and people have shown through their ecological surveys, the research into the environmental impact, that they are very conscious of possible effects and want to mitigate that at all costs.
Opponents say the bill is a way to sidestep governmental red tape because the governor knows the project wouldn't pass an environmental assessment.
There are some big environmental laws that are at play that require, for example, an environmental assessment or an environmental impact statement to be performed when you're evaluating site selection for a particular facility, and that has not been done yet.
Proponents say the project will bring an estimated $180 billion in investment, good-paying electrical and engineering jobs, and could reduce electricity costs in the state.
People are overestimating how much damage this is going to do to the sand dunes, but also, insofar as there is an impact on the sand dunes, it's definitely worth it for what the state of Maine and the people of that area will be able to get from it.
Sells adds if this legislation passes, it's opening up the governor to state and federal lawsuits.
They're not going through the protocols that are normally gone through when you're dealing with a site selection or trying to put a facility in a very delicate area.
The bill will now face a work session in committee before making its way for a full vote of the legislature. At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, if you're ever touring the State House in Augusta, you'll notice some portraits of Maine's most prominent political figures, and most of them are men. One Maine artist is looking to change that by painting some of Maine's most prominent women in politics. Jerry Whitman, an artist from Dresden, says she was at the State House with her granddaughter last year when her granddaughter asked her why there were so few portraits of women lining the walls. Whitman says she didn't have a good answer for her granddaughter, so she took it upon herself to complete the task. Some of the women Whitman painted include Dora Pinkham, the first woman elected to the legislature in 1922, Governor Janet Mills, U.S. Senators Susan Collins and Olympia Snowe, and Speaker of the House Rachel Talbot Ross. She unveiled some of those portraits today in the Hall of Flags.
We have 24 here for the first year, and this will continue on for many years to come, and until we get the women painted, and there is women hanging on the walls here in this Capitol. Most of the representation hanging on these walls, if they're not governors, it's the first 100 years that Maine was a state. Well, women couldn't be elected the first 100 years, so why not give women the first 100 years that they could be elected for some of those portraits to hang on the walls.
Want to check out the portraits? They will be on display at the Margaret Chase Smith Library in Skowhegan from May 20th through November 27th. All right, and as we look outdoors today, let's take a first check in to get a look ahead at what's to come in the next few hours.
Happy Monday. Look at us. High temperatures back in the mid-40s across the area today. That's well above the averages, but same thing tomorrow, followed by a bit of a cool down getting in here Wednesday into Thursday. The wind today pretty much out of the west, gusting near 20 miles per hour. That's going to stay with us pretty much all next 2 or 3 days or so. Lots of clouds across the area now. There could be a sprinkle or a flurry tonight. Most likely not. Our next weather system gets in here mostly on Wednesday into Thursday with a combination of some some rain and some snow. That is across the Great Lakes right now. Our forecast then for tonight, though, is mostly cloudy skies. There could be a sprinkle or a flurry with low temperatures down near freezing. Your full forecast is coming up.
Alrighty, Jeff, thank you. And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, this winter's mild temperatures have saved some towns big on their annual budgets. We'll have that story. Plus, although it appears spring has sprung early, our Doug Banks tells us why it's still a little early for green-thumbed Mainers to start digging in their gardens. Stay tuned.
When you've experienced fire and smoke damage in your home, when pipes break and you have water everywhere, when you're concerned about your family's health because of mold, you need a friendly face to take care of it all. You need the friendly faces of Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. We're just a click or call away. Whatever life throws at you, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is here for you. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest.
It all starts with a Chevy truck. Chevy Silverado with the Turbo Max engine and best-in-class standard torque. And Chevy Silverado HD with up to 14 available camera views. Do more in a Chevy truck. Get yours now.
During Chevy truck season, get 0.9% financing on all 2023 and 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or current Chevy owners can get $6,000 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Visit your main Chevy dealer.
Come stop by Triple S Tack Shop, 315 Hamden Road, Carmel, for quality clothing and equestrian gear.
With Flonase, allergies don't have to be scary. Spray Flonase Sensimus daily for non-drowsy, long-lasting relief in a scent-free, gentle mist. Psst, psst. Flonase, all good. Also, try our allergy, headache, and nighttime pills.
When Crockett's Excavation and Auto Repair want to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Crockett's Excavation, located in Ellsworth, does it all. Whether you're looking to clear a lot, put in a driveway or road, or establish proper drainage, Crockett's Excavation has you covered.
I can make anything disappear.
Critics love The Cleaning Lady, and Tuesday is all new.
I might have something for you to clean.
The Cleaning Lady, all new Tuesday on Fox.
Half-off deals. Save money at foxbangor.com right now. Get the best deals from restaurants, family fun activities, events, and your favorite stores all in one place. Go to foxbangor.com and click on half-off deals and see all the money you could be saving. Half-off deals at foxbangor.com.
Welcome back. Tomorrow marks the official end of winter, with this past season certainly being much milder than in previous years. Some communities are grateful for a season that wasn't a budget buster. Our Matthew Jurancic tells us more.
Tuesday is officially the first day of spring, and there looks to be no snow on the ground. And some town officials say it's been one of the more mild winters to date.
Normally right now, the lakes are still frozen, people are still fishing. But some of these lakes are going out right now, so that just tells you there wasn't much ice, so there wasn't a lot of cold weather.
For some communities, warmer weather like we're experiencing means not seeing public works out treating the roads. A saving of man-hours in salt and sand is welcomed by this small town.
We have saved some money because the overtime is down. Fuel is about average on the fuel.
However, for other communities, they may be saving some money, but just not as much.
They've gone out almost as many times as they would in an ordinary winter, because with frequency we've had freezing rain and icing incidents, and they still have to go out and salt the roads and try to make things safer.
In Howland, town manager David Loy says typically by this time of the year, the town's budget would be 75% used. But due to a lack of snow, he says they shouldn't break their budget.
Right now, I think it's a little under 65%. So, that shows that we didn't have a very hard winter at all.
But over in Lincoln, the Department of Public Works has had just as busy of a year as in previous years.
We've gone out, we've been deployed 23 times this season compared to 26 times at this same point in time last season.
Although spring is right around the corner, Bolin says communities aren't out of the thick of the winter season just yet.
We will stay in winter preparedness until the end of April.
Matthew Juronsik, ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Spring in Maine brings a wide range of vibrant colors, but as we look to put winter behind us, it's important to remember it's still a little too soon to dig into this year's gardening season. Our Doug Banks spoke with two experts to explain what we should keep in mind.
This week, we say goodbye to Maine's unpredictable winter and blossom into spring. But temperatures dropping below freezing can cause damage to frost-sensitive crops.
A thin layer of ice that forms on the plant, which can cause the cell membranes to swell and crack, and that is what causes tissue damage.
Even with a fickle winter, mid to late May remains the optimal outdoor planting time. But there's still plenty to do to occupy the eager green thumb.
Starting trays and do a little seeding inside. They can get outside and do their mulching, weeding, edging their beds, stuff like that if they just really want to get into the dirt.
Some gardeners we spoke to say they're keeping their own traditions in bloom.
I'd say a few years ago during COVID, I got into outdoor gardening, and then my aunt got me into indoor plants. It's a good way to relieve stress, but also can be stress-inducing.
We always say generationally, we're always choosing stuff that reminds us of somebody. Oh geez, my grandmother had this, purple iris. So it's neat to be able to, kind of encompass ourselves in other families' traditions.
For more information about what's right for your garden, those resources will be available on our website, foxbangor.com. In Bangor, Doug Banks, ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
I'm just excited to see all those vibrant colors in just a few weeks, hopefully. All right, well, coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, Trump's team says he can't pay the $500 million judgment against him in his New York civil fraud case. And we'll have the latest on the gang-fueled violence in Haiti and its potential ripple effects. Those stories and more as the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 continues.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Dear Savvy Traveler, airline food isn't what it used to be. I need to fuel up before I fly.
Dear Hangry, you can fill up before takeoff at Bangor International Airport. The Highlands Cafe has quick and casual. The Refueler Pub and Grill has heartier fare. And the Post Security Cafe, other side of TSA, offers a pick-me-up before wheels up. Bon appetit and bon voyage, Hangry. And remember, the savvy travel through Bangor International Airport. Flybangor.com.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota. Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. Woo! Whoa.
Oh, hey. What are we, Steve?
Winners.
I love you.
Right now, you could get special low 4.75% financing for 60 months on a boldly styled all-wheel drive Camry, which could save you up to $1,900.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Little Miss Davis Sweets and Treats, a home-based business that specializes in homemade baked goods. I bake everything from mini cupcakes and cakes, including my giant cookies, cupcakes, and large gingerbread men. I also specialize in baking homemade fudge and brownies too. Everything I bake is made to order, so I do kindly ask for at least a 7-day pickup notice when placing your order. Little Miss Davis Sweets and Treats.
Introducing Hood New England Creamery. Made with premium Hood milk and cream and overloaded with the good stuff. New England Creamery. From Hood for New England. Try all 10 flavors.
A new era of spring football kicks off. The USFL champs versus the XFL champs. UFL Kickoff Weekend begins Saturday, March 30th at 1 on Fox. There's one number you need to know. It's called Joe.
Attorneys for former President Trump say he is currently unable to get a bond from an insurance company to help cover the nearly $500 million judgment against him in his New York civil fraud case. Fox's Eric Shawn has more.
He does not have the money. Former President Donald Trump cannot come up with enough to secure a $464 million bond needed to satisfy his real estate fraud civil case. Trump's lawyers say they have asked 30 insurance companies to back the bond, but no insurance firm will take the risk. If Trump cannot come up with the cash in 7 days, New York Attorney General Letitia James, who brought the case, can legally start seizing and selling Trump's assets unless he is granted a stay until his appeals are exhausted.
Well, thank you very much.
This comes as Trump came under fire for saying at a rally Saturday that there will be a, quote, bloodbath in the country if he is not elected. Critics claim he was inciting violence.
He's even predicting a bloodbath. What does that mean? He's going to exact a bloodbath? There's something wrong here.
Obviously, he's talking about a bloodbath for America.
So he says his bloodbath comment was referring to the auto industry. Now, I don't know if that's how y'all heard it, but that's not how it sounded to me.
But the former president said on True Social he was referring to, quote, our shrinking auto manufacturing business and the potential loss of jobs if China is allowed to manufacture cars in Mexico.
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
The former president and his allies say his words have been taken out of context, but President Biden's campaign is already using the clip to try and damage Trump. In New York, Eric Shawn, Fox News.
Meanwhile, as the violence in Haiti intensifies, the prime minister is promising to resign, and neighboring countries are preparing for a new migrant crisis. Fox's Brian Yennis has more.
The situation in Haiti is getting worse. Gangs are solidifying their hold over the capital, Port-au-Prince, while the government continues to collapse. On Monday, Prime Minister Ariel Henry promised to resign, a key demand of the gang leaders. The U.S. is now spearheading the creation of a new transitional government, but it's unclear what steps can be taken to restore the rule of law.
Moving forward on a political transition and getting to elections, none of that happens if there is profound insecurity, which is what we've seen.
And the instability is now moving beyond Haiti's borders. Dominican authorities in Dajabon deported dozens of Haitian migrants on Sunday, and they're stepping up their measures to keep the illegal migrants out. Construction of this new border wall began last year. The president of the Dominican Republic says so far about 100 miles of border wall has been completed. The goal is to eventually have a border wall run along the entire border with Haiti. He says it'll change the Dominican Republic forever. But Haitians say the efforts to seal the border are having a major impact. There's simply no domestic market in Haiti right now, and without the ability to sell their goods in DR, many say they have no way to make a living.
When we arrive with our goods, misery sets in because there are no small merchants or people to buy our products.
The first U.S. rescue charter flight landed in Miami yesterday with more than 30 Americans. The State Department says it is working on more evacuation options from the capital of Port-au-Prince. In Dajabon, Dominican Republic, Brian Yennis, Fox News.
There has been tension between Israel and the U.S. following Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's speech calling Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu an obstacle to peace. President Biden called it a good speech, but has also recently spoken directly with Netanyahu. Israel has also now agreed to send officials to the U.S. to talk about their strategy in their fight against Hamas. Fox's Connor Hansen has the story.
President Biden says he's committed to long-term support for Israel, but the administration wants to hear from Israeli military, intelligence, and humanitarian officials on an upcoming visit to the White House.
To hear U.S. concerns about Israel's current Rafah planning and to lay out an alternative approach that would target key Hamas elements in Rafah and secure the Egypt-Gaza border without a major ground invasion.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says more than 1 million people have taken refuge in Rafah after fleeing other cities destroyed in the war.
A major ground operation there would be a mistake. It would lead to more innocent civilian deaths, worsen the already dire humanitarian crisis, deepen the anarchy in Gaza, and further isolate Israel internationally.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu recently told President Biden he is focused on his country's end goals.
The elimination of Hamas, the release of all our hostages, and the promise that Gaza will no longer pose a threat to Israel, while providing the necessary humanitarian aid that helps achieve these goals.
Israeli forces are continuing their mission in Gaza City. They say they have launched another raid on a hospital, accusing Hamas of rebuilding its base there. Gaza's health ministry said the army attacked a part of the hospital used for specialized surgeries.
We will continue to strike wherever Hamas tries to regain its grip. Israeli army troops are continuing to operate in the hospital compound.
Pressure is on for more aid to be allowed into Gaza as the UN Food Agency warns famine is imminent in some areas. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court ruling on a Texas law that would allow local law enforcement to arrest people suspected of crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally. Fox's Connor Hansen again breaks down that bill.
The Supreme Court is extending the legal pause on a controversial Texas immigration law. The justices blocking enforcement while it continues to decide the matter. The law would allow any police officer in Texas to arrest migrants for illegal entry. Once in custody, migrants can either agree to a Texas judge's order to leave the U.S. or be charged with a crime.
It basically says we can arrest, we can detain, and we can either put you in jail or send you back.
Arresting officers need probable cause, like witnessing the illegal entry themselves or seeing it on video. Legal experts and immigration rights groups say enforcement should stay with the federal government and worry about racial profiling. The author of the Texas law has said it's meant to target people who recently crossed the border, not undocumented immigrants who have been living in the states for years. The Biden administration filed an emergency appeal with the Supreme Court to temporarily block it.
We've been in this showdown now for years since Biden became president. Seems like every day.
This is not the first time the Lone Star State has clashed with the Biden administration. Back in January, the Supreme Court ruled that federal Border Patrol agents can remove the razor wire at the southern border. But after all that legal trouble, the wire is still there.
I just don't have anything for you on that. We were very clear about what we thought about those wires.
The Department of Homeland Security has said funding cuts have put all of its work, including on the border, in jeopardy. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
3 Republican Senate candidates are making their final pitches to Ohio voters ahead of Tuesday's primary election. The contenders are in a race to unseat incumbent Democrat Sherrod Brown. Fox's Mark Meredith has the latest.
We are now in the home stretch.
Ohio businessman Bernie Moreno is counting on former President Trump's endorsement.
He's a great guy. He'll be a great, great senator.
To give him an edge in tomorrow's 3-way Senate primary, which looks to be a dead heat.
If you believe in America first, if you believe that the Republican Party under President Trump is the future of the party, a party that puts the interest of America first, then vote for me.
Today, Moreno campaigned with MAGA leaders, including Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. But over the weekend, his campaign scrambled after the Associated Press reported it found a gay dating profile tied to Moreno from 2008. The campaign says an intern created it as a joke and that it, quote, existed for less than a half a day 16 years ago. Moreno's chief rival, State Senator Matt Dolan, says he's an alternative to the MAGA crowd. Dolan has the support of Ohio's Republican Governor Mike DeWine.
Civility in politics is not a weakness. And strength, we cannot judge strength anymore by how loud we are.
Moreno and Dolan, both multimillionaires, have contributed heavily to their campaigns. Secretary of State Frank LaRose says that makes him an underdog tomorrow.
I've always been the guy in the race that doesn't have the most resources because I can't fund it out of my own pocket like both of my opponents can.
Tuesday's winner will face off against Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown, who's seeking his 4th term. but Brown is considered vulnerable this year as Ohio increasingly trends conservative. Democrats are not sitting on the sidelines either. A PAC with some close ties to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer recently unveiled ads trying to boost Marino, an indication that Democrats feel they may be more confident being able to keep Sherrod Brown's seat blue if they go up against Marino this fall. In Cleveland, Ohio, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, another volcanic eruption in Iceland forces people to evacuate once again. And in sports, Maine women's hoops now knows their opponent for the first round of the NCAA tournament. We'll be right back.
We turning it up to 11. It's nonstop Mask Mania. All new Masked Singer, Wednesdays on Fox.
Transform your surroundings with Paramount Paving, located in Bangor. They are your paving and seal coating experts. Whether it's residential maintenance to full commercial projects, Paramount Paving delivers quality that lasts. Book before June 1st and enjoy a $250 Visa gift card upon completion of your next paving project. Call us today at 602-8931 or visit us at ParamountPavingLLC.com. Paramount Paving, setting the standard for excellence. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Come bowl a few games here at Bangor Brewer Bowling Lanes. We're one of the only candlepin bowling alley centers in Maine, conveniently located in the heart of Brewer. You always have the opportunity to simply bowl for fun. However, you can also join a league. We have youth leagues, adult and senior leagues. Now don't forget, we also host birthday parties for under $100, and gift certificates are also available. Give us a call right away at 989-3798 to make reservations for your birthday party today.
Are your basement walls bowing, crumbling, or failing? Hi, I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems, all things basementy. Our stable lock wall system offers a patented, affordable, and permanent solution to save your foundation walls. It stabilizes, fills voids, and structurally repairs, leaving a new smooth surface. All the strength of new walls. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
Welcome to 207 Wellness, where transformation begins from within. Embark on a journey of self-betterment with our comprehensive services from weight management to IV hydration, vitamin supplementation, and neurotoxin injections. 207 Wellness is here to support your wellness goals. Take the first step toward a healthier, happier you, rejuvenate your body, refresh your mind, and reclaim your vitality with 207 Wellness. Transform your wellness, transform your life. Give us a call today.
Winter is flu season, and not only that, but COVID is still with us, as is RSV. Remember, it takes your body about 2 weeks after you get any vaccination to ramp up those antibodies. Now is the time for you and your family to get vaccinated against the flu, COVID, and RSV. Updated vaccines are now available for flu and COVID-19, and depending on your age, active steps you can take to prevent RSV. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist, or go to vaccines.gov. A message from the Maine CDC, this station, and the Maine Association of Broadcasters.
Another eruption in Iceland has tourists and residents scrambling to evacuate for the fourth time in as many months. Fox's Alex Hogan has more.
I've never experienced anything like that before.
It's getting to be a familiar event in Iceland, a major volcanic eruption near the famous Blue Lagoon spa, prompting evacuations for the fourth time since December. The lava flow is now flowing toward the town of Grindavik, which has been largely uninhabited since the first eruption. So far, defenses built in the past few months appear to be holding despite a heavier than expected lava flow.
The eruption was quite well, energetic, we could say. There was a lot of material coming out.
You can see here hundreds of tourists evacuated from the Blue Lagoon when the eruption happened. Some were even in the thermal baths when the lava started flowing. Most visitors say the evacuation was orderly and businesslike, but some are still in shock.
I just hope everybody got out okay, but it really was an experience. And I'm like, at the same time, wow, how could this happen?
Most volcanologists now agree this cluster of eruptions is a signal that a major volcanic system is now active after about 800 years of lying dormant. And it's not clear what that will mean for the folks in nearby towns and cities, including the capital, Reykjavik, where more than 1/3 of the population lives.
We might have eruptions on the peninsula for the on and off for the next few hundred years.
The good news, the lava flow appears to be weakening and it is expected to stop within the next few days. In London, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Well, some of the most groundbreaking inventions ever created were by the hands of people who studied in STEM fields. And while those jobs are continuing to see growth, academic experts say it's critical. Kids today are introduced to STEM topics at an early age so they can develop more impressive inventions in the future. Fox's Chris DeMeo has the story.
You're probably familiar with the term STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. But did you know careers in those fields are expected to grow 15% by 2031? That's according to data collected by financial technology company Smart Asset.
STEM careers have grown so immensely.
To help ensure that there's a steady pipeline of workers to fill those future positions, Brandon Sorge of Purdue University says it's critical parents and teachers get kids hooked on STEM at a young age.
Really thinking about that early opportunity as children are learning to read and reading in the disciplines of STEM.
But as kids get into middle school and high school, Sorge says
it's got to start having those experiences of seeing people doing those jobs, of meeting people in those jobs.
Increasing gender and racial diversity among workers in STEM is also important. The most recent data from the National Science Foundation reveals women made up about 35% of people working in STEM fields back in 2021. Officials say Hispanic, Asian, and Black workers are also underrepresented. But over at the wings of the North Air Museum outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota, retired Air Force Lieutenant Caroline Jensen is taking action.
I love to influence young women and for them to look at me and see something about them in me.
This weekend, Jensen and other volunteers encouraged girls to explore opportunities in aviation, a STEM career. Youngsters spent time getting an up-close look at planes, lessons on historic female pilots, and more.
I just tell them to go for it. You can never have success without having failure.
Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
It's so important to get those young kids interested in those jobs. Meanwhile, gas prices in Maine have shot up more than 6 cents a gallon in the last week. According to Gas Buddy's survey of more than 1,200 stations in the state, the average price now sits at $3.28 a gallon. That's more than 5 cents higher than a month ago and 11 cents a gallon lower than a year ago. Patrick DeHaan, who's head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy, says the reason for the increase in prices is the season. He says demand is rising as more Americans are getting out and the summer gasoline switchover is underway. He says refinery maintenance is also a contributing factor in those rising prices. And when we come back, we'll find out all the details on our full 5-day forecast. Stay tuned.
High temperatures back in the 40s again today, and spring officially arrives tomorrow, but we have some things in the 5-day forecast. More on that when I come back.
HCM is a serious heart condition affecting as many as 1 in 200 people, like me.
And me. I was still short of breath on my beta blocker.
So I talked to my cardiologist
and asked about treatment advances in HCM.
That talk made a real difference.
It gave me new hope.
Talk to your cardiologist today. Visit hcmrealtalk.com to learn more.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Yeah.
Sick.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
You could get the lowest financing rate ever on most 2024 Tundra hybrid and gas models. Just 1.99% financing, which could save you up to $3,900.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Tired of your internet service constantly letting you down? Those other providers may promise the world with their flashy advertisements, but are you truly having a good customer experience? Fear not, because there's a new player in town. Introducing GoNet Speed. No more endless hold times or automated responses. We're here to listen, support, and provide you with the exceptional service you deserve. Our fast, reliable fiber internet, it's mind-blowing. Let us show you what true internet satisfaction feels like.
Did you know that it's possible to prevent colorectal cancer with regular screening?
I almost skipped my colonoscopy because I had something more important to do. But my friend said, you've got to go.
Today, you have options for colon cancer screening. Ask your provider which test is right for you.
I was lucky. They caught my cancer early enough to treat it successfully.
If you're 50 or older, ask your provider about colon cancer screening or visit screenmaine.org.
Hungry goats, drunken raccoons, driving dogs.
A partridge in a pear tree?
No. All new Animal Control, Wednesdays on Fox.
All right, the first day of spring is tomorrow. It's going to be a while before our lawns look like this, but overall, there are warmer temperatures in the long-range forecast. But first, there is also some rain and snow in the forecast as well. And some wind. The wind out there now north around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Not too bad currently. It is going to pick up, though, tonight and mostly linger throughout tomorrow, mostly probably into Wednesday as well. We could see wind gusts around 20 to 30, so it's going to be a pretty windy couple days around here, and thus a small craft advisory out there running through Tuesday and probably into Wednesday for wave heights out here approaching 8 to 10 feet. All right, so going forward though, so temperature-wise today, look at this, 45 here in Bangor, also Bar Harbor, 43 Millinocket, 38 for Greenville, so comfortable. Average high upper 30s, all of us were above that today, and likely will be tomorrow as well, followed by some changes getting in here on Wednesday. Our start today though, not so bad either, right? 29 in Millinocket, 26 for Bangor, so overall, average low temperatures are still in the teens to low 20s, and all of us were above that this morning. Okay, so lots of clouds out there today. A couple of flurries or a sprinkle can't be ruled out tonight. This air, though, is very dry, so on radar we see this stuff, but it's not reaching the ground. That will likely continue all night long, but just know there could be a sprinkle or a flurry in there tonight. Our next weather system, though, gets in here probably on Wednesday. It's part of this system here, and there will be some more moisture behind that one as well. So overall, kind of a messy week of weather ahead with several systems on the way. Until then, though, here's a jet stream, and it's right there. You see it doing this thing, kind of tracking this direction. That's going to pick up several more systems moving in our direction. That will likely bring us several more chances for precipitation across our area. Let's walk you through it. So tonight, again, some clouds around, a couple of flurries or sprinkles can't be ruled out. Tomorrow's actually going to be a pretty nice day. Increasing clouds, though, tomorrow night. And again, a couple of flurries and some light rain showers are possible on Wednesday. We got to watch, though, Thursday. So Thursday is a day where the system could get some more moisture with it, begin to rotate just a bit. That could throw a band of some snowfall back in our area. It's still, though, kind of a couple of days away. Just know if you're traveling Thursday, that could be a thing. That pulls out of here. Our next system gets going most likely into Saturday and Sunday. We really got to watch that system, though, for later in the weekend. That one could bring us some pretty good snow to parts of the area. Until then, though, if it stays all rain through Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're looking at rainfall totals in excess of an inch or two across our area. So again, another wet week ahead with several systems on the way. Our forecast then tonight is looking at mostly cloudy skies. A couple of flurries can't be ruled out with low temperatures down near 28 for tomorrow. All right, I want mostly sunny. It could easily be partly cloudy tomorrow. High temperatures back up in the low to mid 40s. That's comfy, but with a gusty northwest wind could gust near 25, making that 44 feel much colder. And looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows that chance for rain on Wednesday, rain and some snow mixed on Thursday. We get a break in the action Friday, a high of 37. There's the weekend. Again, we got to really watch that system Saturday and Sunday. That could bring a healthy snow to somebody with a high temperature Saturday in the upper 30s.
Tomorrow looking like the best day all week. Thank you, Jeff, and we'll be right back with sports after this.
Protect your vehicle from rusting away with Bell's Automotive Protection. We are the leader in mobile undercoating and rust proofing in Maine. We'll travel right to your driveway using the best and safest products on the market. This is much safer than rubberized coatings that can cause damage later on. We spray all types of vehicles, including commercial fleets. We all know vehicles aren't cheap anymore. Don't let the harsh winter chemicals eat them away. Call us or visit our page for a free quote. 207-659-3805.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
Finding the right vehicle for you and your family can be a daunting task. At Varney Buick GMC, our expert staff is here to make the journey as painless as possible. Our goal is to get you and your family in a vehicle that will best fit into your lifestyle. Communication is key, and our team makes sure to be completely transparent throughout the process, informing you on all of your options. Come experience Varney value, only at Varney Buick GMC.
Your favorite restaurants were half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Go to foxbangor.com, click on half off dining, and start saving now.
The Maniac Snack Shack. You will find delicious, tasty, insane desserts. Oh, and wait, there is more. We offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner options for take home. You want something special? Let us know and we'll create that perfect treat for any occasion. The Maniac Snack Shack. Place your order today.
Great restaurants from all over Eastern Maine at half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Healing Hands Massage in Hamden, providing professional massage services tailored specifically for their clients. Stop by Healing Hands Massage today. You'll thank yourself later.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Let's start with some basketball here. Selection Sunday this past weekend, and after winning their record 10th America East title in program history, Maine women's basketball has learned their opponent and first-round destination for the 2024 NCAA tournament. It is Ohio State. The Buckeyes are a 2-seed in the tourney, so they will host the Black Bears, who went in as a 15-seed as projected. In the women's tournament, the first-round games are at the higher seed, so Maine will play in Columbus, Ohio. That game is at noon on Friday. Ohio State finished the year ranked 7th in the country and the top seed in the Big Ten tournament. However, they were just upset by Maryland in the first round, so coming off of a loss, Maine coming off of a win. Here was the reaction from the Black Bears when they heard their name called on Sunday night.
They will play
All right, big congrats to them, wishing them luck out there. Let's hit the ice now. Eventually, we'll stop talking about Maine women's hoops and Maine men's hockey, but today is not that day. After a huge win on Saturday, the Black Bears practically sweeping Hockey East's weekly awards. We'll start in net. After an 18-save shutout on Saturday night, freshman Albin Boyo was named the conference's goaltender of the week. It was not only his first career shutout, but Maine's first playoff shutout since 2014. And on the offensive end, the freshmen Bradley and Josh Nadeau each winning Hockey East Player of the Week. They each had 2 goals and 2 assists in the contest. Each of them have won Player of the Week once before, and it's Boya's second time being named Goaltender of the Week. Correction, it's Boya's first playoff shutout. Also for Maine, Ben Barr being named a finalist for the Bob Cullen Award. That's the Hockey East Coach of the Year. Congrats to them. Let's go to the high school scene now. It is day 1 of spring sports in Maine, technically with pitchers and catchers reporting for baseball and softball. So get out those calendars. Let's take a look at some important dates. For baseball and softball, as we said, pitchers and catchers in action Monday. Whole team reports next Monday for practice and tryouts. First games are Tuesday, April 11th. Playoffs start June 4th, and then regional finals are 1 week later. States Saturday, June 15th. Outdoor track now. Practices begin next Monday, and the first meets again Tuesday, April 11th. The Maine State Championships for outdoor track and field are June 1st. Old Town will host Class B, and in Durham, New Hampshire at UNH are New England's. That is June 8th. Finally, boys and girls lacrosse, they start practices or tryouts next Monday. The 11th is a busy day as their regular seasons start then too. Preliminary games start June 4th, so that's when playoffs start. Divisional championships for boys are June 11th, girls June 12th, while states are June 14th and 15th, depending on boys or girls and class. All state finals games in Portland at Fitzpatrick Stadium. Wishing all of our spring athletes a happy and healthy season. Over to some football now. Free agency has quieted down somewhat, at least for the Patriots. They seem to be looking ahead to the draft next month, but on Monday, Pats fans and media heard from one of the exciting new additions to the team. New England signed Washington running back Antonio Gibson to a 3-year deal worth over $11 million. Just over $5 million of that is guaranteed. Gibson spent the first 4 years of his career in Washington, where he's racked up over 2,000 yards and 22 touchdowns on the ground, 173 receptions and 7 scores through the air. He says after meeting the staff and those in the building, he felt Foxborough was a great spot for him to be.
You know, when I came in, I just felt it though. You know, they brought me in. I got to talk to everybody, and I felt the energy. It was a good vibe. And you know, we just started off on good terms. So like I said, can't wait to get the OTAs and get to work.
Gibson went to college at the University of Memphis, where actually he played wide receiver. He didn't make the transition to running back position until he got to the NFL. He was asked about the possibility of being the third down back or the passing down back here in New England, the James White role, if you will, and he said regardless how they use him, he's going to show up to compete.
I'm not going to, stick myself to just a third down back. I want to compete just the same as everybody else. And, I feel like that's only going to make the running back room better. Like I said, I'm not here to step on anybody's toes, but, it's the end of the day, we have to compete. And I'm not just here to, to take the back seat.
All right, as a fan, probably my favorite signing of the free agency period so far for the Patriots. It's all the time we have for sports, though. We'll be right back after the break.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Wow. Nice.
Thanks, bud.
You could get the lowest ever 1.99% financing on most Tundra hybrid and gas models. Toyota, let's go places.
The best value for your money is always at the Furniture Gallery. Strike gold on value and comfort with recliners starting at $298 and power recliners starting at $398. Feel like a lucky charm with deals on this reclining sofa for $598 or on this sofa chaise, also $598. Find unbeatable savings at the Furniture Gallery on top brands like Serta, Restonic, Parker House, Ashley, Flexsteel, and more. Markdown madness is happening now, so hurry in and save big. The Furniture Gallery in Augusta, Bangor, Newport, and North Windham.
Let's face it, getting training and experience is hard, but at Loring Job Corps, we can help. From certifications in automotive technology, obtaining your CDL, or learning building trades, we have you covered. Maybe you prefer joining the high-tech world of computer networking or cybersecurity. We have that as well. Don't delay, get in the driver's seat to your future today. And the best part, Loring Job Corps is free. Receive free training, free meals, and even free housing. Call or go to jobcorps.gov/Loring. Job Corps careers begin here.
Great Scott! This is Green Bay 420 in 2010. What kind of trip is this? I gotta get back to 2023. Wait, it's 2015. So much has changed. In 2023, we had a lot more glass, t-shirts, and novelties. It's gonna take a bolt of lightning to get me home. Finally, home at last. Now Green Bear 420, Green Bear Green Care is bigger and better than ever. To be continued.
When the Coach House Restaurant wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. The Coach House Restaurant, family dining at its best with fine home-cooked meals, delicious homemade desserts, and a large menu of tasty offerings for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
25 words or less.
What advice do you have for John? Have fun. This is one of the best games on TV.
In a friendly game of words.
11 words. Oh, you just came to slay. Oh.
The key to victory.
Stifler's mom.
Oh,
Jennifer
no.
Coolidge? Cougar.
Cougar, oh yeah! Is clearly in the clues. Wave, light, pebbles. Rebel!
You did it. You did it.
Weekdays at 9 on Fox 22. Sign up for You Pick 'em Red Sox at foxbangor.com. Pick who you think is going to win and compete against other fans for prizes.
Welcome back. Weddings are back in vogue again as it seems worries about the pandemic have waned. The CDC says marriage numbers have returned to pre-pandemic levels in the U.S. The agency says about 2.1 million couples got hitched in 2022. The pandemic canceled many weddings when health safety issues forced bans on large gatherings to slow the spread. In 2020, the number of I do's reached about 1.7 million. That's the lowest figure since 1963. Marriage counts crept back up in 2021. New York, the District of Columbia, and Hawaii saw the largest increases from 2021 to 2022. Overall, marriages are not as common as they used to be. The MasterChef Junior cooks take on their next creative challenge where they will learn to work as a team, serving up a famous group of guests. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with that story.
The Harlem Globetrotters! The young cooks of MasterChef Junior face their first team challenge, whipping up hearty meals for the Harlem Globetrotters.
The insanity of what they're able to do at these young ages is unreal.
The way that all the young cooks learn to deal with pressure is inspiring because, you know, they're in a very
high-pressure environment.
The potatoes aren't soft. The challenge isn't easy, and the judges say contestants can learn valuable lessons from it.
In everything that they do in life, what it means to be confident based on hard work and your skill, what it means to have a team. So many of these challenges, we ask one of them to step up and be a leader, what that actually feels like. It's an incredible skill set for life.
The big life lesson is not learning to work with a mistake. If we're going down the wrong path, stop there and then, and let's start again. And nothing wrong with that. And food really does help translate that across life lessons.
Up next, the cooks put their skills to the test outside the MasterChef Junior kitchen when they visit the Magic Castle in Los Angeles next Monday.
We always get excited when there's like a field challenge, because to take them out of the comfort of the MasterChef kitchen always is very insightful for us to be able to see who they are, engage their skill level and how much they've grown and literally matured in front of our eyes.
It's good.
Thank you. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
On Silver Street in Waterville sits the Reddington Museum, a historic gem filled with items and artifacts from some of the city's most well-known families. One of the museum's biggest attractions is the Laverdiere Apothecary, which is where people had their prescriptions filled before drugstores were readily available. Our Jody Hersey takes us for a tour.
Long before drugstores, over-the-counter medications, and the internet allowed anyone to look up their ailing symptoms, Mainers would visit a druggist at an apothecary just like this one.
The druggist was completely on his own to create compounds that would take care of a variety of illnesses.
This collection of wall-to-wall elixirs, powders, oils, and other ingredients is all on display inside the Laverdiere's Apothecary at the Reddington Museum in Waterville.
And it represents their legacy of drugstores in Maine. And there are a lot of original articles that you would find in a drugstore going back to the 1800s.
The mahogany cabinets that house most of the collection came straight from a drugstore in Rumford, while a small room behind the sales counter is where the druggist would measure and mix different ingredients and keep a record of each prescription that was filled.
It's the awe factor when you step in and see the immensity of the collection.
This two-story home built by Asa Reddington, a member of George Washington's Honor Guard and a well-known businessman in Waterville, was deeded to the Historical Society in 1927 to use as a museum. Besides the apothecary, visitors will find everything from historic maps, furniture, cameras, and even a working 1880s music box on display.
I love discovering something new every day, whether it's something in the physical collection or if it's a letter or a newspaper article. I just love it.
The museum is open Fridays 2 to 6 p.m. and admission is by donation. In Waterville, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Just so much history on display there. All right, well, that's all for us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in and have a great rest of your evening.